Bam Bam, are you thinking of getting these Corsair QL120 fans, or you already have them and you want to see exactly what is inside this very box and you want to install them? You came to the right place, because I'm going to go over everything you need to know about these Corsair QL120 fans. In fact, I do have ML120 fans installed on my PC that is actually connected to my radiator to keep my CPU cool. It's actually a AIO that is installed in there right now, and it's been great, excellent, and I love them. But can the QL120s perform just as well or even better than those ML120 fans? You'll see the very differences between these QL fans compared to the ML fans. And of course, you got those LL fans. So without further ado, let's open up this QL120 box and see what is inside of it. So here it is right here. You got this wonderful tape right here that is behind it that's got to open. It's always fun opening up some products. So let's see what is in here. So you get a little box right here. And more than likely, this probably has that Corsair Lighting Node Pro. It will probably have instruction manuals on exactly how to install your QL fans. After this is completely unboxed, I'll show you the difference between the ML120 fans as I have installed in this very PC right now. Let's open up the seal right here and I'll show you what is in this box. So when you open it up here, at first you'll see something like this. You're going to see the RGB hub right here. This is SATA Power right here. You just need this connection to go to your SATA Power to your power supply. You also have your USB plug right here, and this simply goes to your motherboard for your PC to actually recognize your RGB hub. And you simply have to connect your fans in a series. So if you have all three fans hooked up, make sure you have hooked up 1, 2, and 3, and don't hook it up to something like 2, 4, and 6, because then it won't work correctly as a series of fans. It also comes with fan screws here. If you need fan screws for your PC, it does come with them. I'm going to be using my rubber mounts that I already have for my case. It also has inside of this beautiful yellow box this electrical guide here. I don't know what fell down there, but I do also have a how to waste electrical equipment. If you do, more than likely I'm going to save these fans, especially when I do another custom build here. But before I do another custom build, I'm going to wait for a motherboard that actually has PCI Express 5.0 and features DDR5 RAM here. And I also got this, the QL fan guide right here, and it's very simplistic. It kind of just is really one page of instructions, I believe, on how to install the RGB hub and the Lighting Node Pro. So if you need to look at it, you can. It is all inside of that book right there. So that's what's inside of here. And inside this box, as you can see, you got these fans. So each individual box, they just simply slide out just like this. And as you can see, this is the fan here. Look at that action right there. And inside of this little cover right here, will actually be the wiring for the fan that you need. Pretty simple. One's going to be for your RGB hub, and the other one is for your fan power. Practically what's all in the box right here. And let's take a deep dive into the PC here, and I will show you what to look for. So I shut off my PC here. I'm going to show you the exact differences that there are between these very two fans here. So first I got to take off the filter here, and then we can take a closer look, and I will have them side by side, and you can have a good idea of the difference between these ML fans and the QL fans. First thing I gotta say, ML fans uses magnetic levitation, so maglev. technology on these fans. So it's not non-hydraulic. Inside of these fans here, there's actually magnets that actually cause it to kind of levitate from where it is, compared to a QL fan, as you see here. As you see the QL fan, let me put that side by side by it, you can see that there is a noticeable size difference. You notice that the actual hub for the fan, RGB LED type of lighting around it, compared to a straight fan such as the ML fan. ML static pressure is about 1.78 millimeters, and its CFM is about 47.3, compared to QL static pressure, which is 1.55 millimeters, and its CFM is 41.8. And also, another big noticeable difference between these two fans are, if you notice, this actually has a metallic type of sticker to it, a metallic hub to it, compared to its regular just black plain old design of Corsair right there. So it has more kind of a bling to it right there, so it just looks a little bit better. And it's also the same for the back of the fan. This is the difference between the LL fans, is the back of the fans actually also has a LED light behind it, compared to ML fans, to where they do not have this ring. They only have the fan that is actually RGB. So the ML hub is about 110 millimeters right here. If I put that right next to it, the actual fan itself is a lot more, it's actually smaller, which reaches about 99 millimeters from what was measured. So the RGBs are definitely a lot more subtle compared to this, and I will show you that once these QL fans are installed. So the rated speed for the QL fans are between 525 RPMs all the way to 1500 RPMs, plus or minus 10%. And for the ML fans here, they're about 400 to 1600 plus or minus 10% of RPM. So these are currently the fans that I have in the PC right now. And if you listen closely, you can kind of hear that noise, and it's not keeping at a temperature that I personally would like. I would personally like a more cooler temperature. That's the bad boy there that's making all that rattling sound. Almost sounds like a hard drive spinning in my PC. So without further ado, let's install these fans. First, we gotta take off the side panel here. If it's tempered glass, make sure that you put it somewhere that it's safe, so that way it don't bust. Last thing you need to do is replace your side panel glass. So the first thing we got to focus on is these top fans up here. We're going to have to turn this case around to work on them. So luckily for me, I don't have to uninstall any screws. Typically, you're going to need like a Phillips screwdriver in order to remove these. But because I only have rubber mounts on these, that's the only thing I really have to remove from these fans, so I could actually just pull them through. I just got to take off the side casing right here in order to access the wiring to the fans. Another thing I would recommend is to get your own stuff instead of using Corsair's 3M tape, because as you can see, it doesn't really adhere too well, and eventually it just falls off. It's not really the greatest. I would usually recommend some magnetic strips for this, so that way you don't ever have to worry about it falling off its case. But this is the original RGB hub that I have installed. Having a PC can be a chaotic beauty, just like this. And originally up on the top here, I know I have the fans connected to a SATA Power, so I have absolutely no control over them. And I'm definitely going to change it. Instead, I'm going to have this hooked up to the motherboard, so that way I can control the speeds to the fans. And I do want to install only 2 fans up on the top here. And I also want a pull in the back, 120 millimeter. I'll also remove that 140 millimeter fan that I had back there. So let's disconnect this Molex cable. So I'm going to have to start cutting some of these zip ties here. Just be careful you don't cut into any wires here. You want to use some diagonal pliers, or some really sharp scissors. So let's disconnect these fans and see exactly where we go from there. So all I have to do now is just pop off these rubber grommets here. Now I just simply match up the wires with the fans that I pulled off and see exactly where they route to. And you want to take apart your fan splitter. That's something you're going to need for your project here. You're going to need this splitter when you connect all the fans. It's going to look just something simple like this here. You know, you would think Corsair would add some wire ties with the kit. It would be nice of them, so that way at least you can organize it the way you like. There you go, that's one fan out. That's two. That's number 3 there. This connection right here is just to the 140mm back fan that I plan to remove. And I will replace it with the QL fan. As I mentioned earlier, I'll have 2 QL fans up on the top and 1 in the rear. I got the QL fan in my hand, and as you can see these arrows, this simply means the flow of direction of the fan. So if you need it to push, make sure you put it in the push direction, and if you need it to pull, make sure you set it to the pull direction. Now I will install my QL fans on the pull method. In place of the 144mm stock fan that I had in here, now I'm going to replace it with that 120mm QL fan. Now this is from the rear fan right here. Just remember how you have everything set up here. Make sure you have that 3-to-1 wire handy. Because this is 4-pin, I'm unable to use that other wire that was originally on there because that was a 3-pin fan there. Now that we have it hooked up appropriately, make sure you put it into the 4-pin slot that you need it in. As you can see, this is the Corsair RGB hub that came with the ML120s. As you can see, I have series 1, 2, and 3 hooked up to the radiator, and I still have 4, 5, and 6 available here. As you see that this wire right here, this is what's very different about it, because you could actually disconnect that wire from the Lightning Node Pro, which is this wire here. If you follow it, as you can see, it goes to right here, and it's currently hooked up to 1. So you could hook up another fan hub to it, which I really like about it, but currently I have it hooked up to my RGB lighting light strips. And if you haven't seen that, make sure you click the card above and I'll show you how I have them installed. Say if you already have ML120 fans just like I do already installed into your PC, why not just use 4, 5, and 6? And the reason is because the LEDs are a lot different and they do not match the ML120s. There's a way you can actually get it to work, but I'm not going to show that way currently. I'm going to show it just like if you're installing some fresh fans. Also, another word of advice is, as you can see, I had installed this sticky piece in the back, which was the 3M tape. And another thing is it's no longer that sticky. Now I'm going to use magnet tape on top of it instead, and it will hold a whole lot better. So we're going to proceed with that install. So first I'm going to add some magnet tape here so I don't ever have to worry about this mess again. Now when you add magnet tape just like this, you don't really have to add too much to it. So I have it installed just like this, and that should work perfectly well. Now you can choose your placement wherever. Now I have just decided to stick it up here maybe. Yeah, that should be pretty good. Now as you can see the difference between the two, they are completely different. One's a little bit more fatter
And this has the lighting node built in. And now you have an extra USB here. So let's install this.
Now I'm trying to get a good idea of where I would like to place this RGB lighting node core. And then after you get a pretty good idea of where you like to place it, then you could slip your USB 2.0 in whichever crevice you feel is best to slip it through. Make sure to install your USB 2.0 wire appropriately to the motherboard. Now I'm adding some magnetic tape to the lighting node core. Make sure you install it pretty well, and after you install it, get ready to line up your RGB wires here. Make sure you plug in 1, 2, and 3 in a series. Do not try to mix and match your RGB wires here, otherwise it will not work correctly. Stick your lighting node core where you would like it. Then make sure you get ready to plug in your SATA Power to your power supply. So I got the fans all completely installed. They look like they're working great out of the box, which is good news. And if it's not working for you out of the box, I'll show you exactly what to do. I just want to show you here that I have shut off my fans here, so we will do a decibel test on exactly what they sound like. I know this isn't the most scientific proof of sound, but I will have the mic about 3 inches away from the ML fan so you can hear what they sound like. So when you first start up your PC with the fresh QL120 lights, you're going to get the nice RGB effects back there. As I got the case open, you can see that fan there. But now we're going to go into iCUE and we're going to fix that. I'll show you exactly what you need to do for it to be activated in your iCUE. Otherwise, you won't have your lighting working properly. So first step, we're going to go down here, click that arrow, and you're going to go into iCUE. When you go into iCUE, you're going to see something called lighting node core, and we're going to go into lighting setup. Now, when you go into lighting setup, select the number of fans that you have selected for your lights, and currently we have 3 altogether. So we're going to hit 3 fans, and then in order for you to set up the lights the way you want it, all you have to do is simply go into your lighting channel and then select what kind of color you like. For example, on default, it will have the rainbow wave. And then next, I'll show you color wave. Let's say we're going to make it orange, a reddish orange, and pink. Next, I'll show you can even show the temperature of your PC if you would like. Let's do the Ryzen Threadripper, and we'll put it on the CPU package. So we'll stick with the default 20 degrees for green, yellow for 40, 60 for red. Now you get an idea of the temperature show, and I'll show you guys one more really cool selection. Let's do gate. One of my favorite ones. Let's go red and orange. The QL120 fans are very beautiful. They have this wonderful LED light to it. It has a back ring glow to the front ring glow, and plus you have the fan that shows the beautiful RGBs that the QLs do offer. I gotta share with you guys something really important. you guys got to know about ExpressVPN. Hey fam guys, if you don't have a virtual private network, a VPN, then you're surfing the net unsecured. Hackers can know your bank information, and besides, you can do really cool things such as watch your favorite movies that you can't watch here in the US, such as currently I'm connected to Hong Kong's network, and I can go here onto Netflix and watch something that I can't watch here in the US. Now I can watch something cool like this, something here I can't watch in the US. So get ExpressVPN. If you want to get ExpressVPN, I have it exclusively for you, FamBam, for 2 months free. And you can try it out, and it's also great for gaming. FamBam, guys, I hope you found this video very useful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy content just like this, make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button to join the big, wonderful FamBam. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. And for all the newest updates, make sure you follow my Twitter handle right here, as it is the same handle I have for Instagram and TikTok. FamBam, guys, what do you think of the QL120 fans? Do you feel like it's worth the money? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Chris Mizo, signing out.